Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Becca and today we are doing another repot with me video. I'm so excited about this. I actually just got home last night from a few weeks away and I just feel like I need some time with dirt on my hands. So also this video is sponsored by Ruggable. More about them a little bit later. Okay, so for today's lineup, I have a couple of different plants. I have an Choco Red, which I recently got. I unboxed it for a video, which I'm sort of spoiling it for you now, but there's gonna be a few other things I unbox in that video too. I'm going to repot this ZZ. I've never repotted it before. It's kind of big. And then also, this plant was supposed to be a part of the unboxing video, but it arrived while I was gone, so I could not unbox it. I actually found out that Daniel unboxed it for me because he told me that I received a package from Tennessee Tropicals, and I was like, oh, can you open it? Just leave the box open, you don't need to do anything. But he's like, oh, I actually just unboxed it and I'm watering it right now. And I was like, wow, are you like a plant guy? Like, do you know what you're doing now? So anyway, I was really proud of him. That was pretty awesome, not gonna lie. And then I have my Allocasia Lauterbachia. And this is honestly my happiest Allocasia. I'm not gonna ask why or how. I'm just going to accept it. Look how beautiful. It has a new leaf coming out. It's put out 2 or 3 leaves in my care, which is awesome. And it just lives in the ambient humidity of my sunroom, which varies between 40 and like 80% humidity. Currently it's 70% humidity in here, but it has been raining a lot in the last couple of days, or so I heard. I was not here, but as I can see, it is like very moist outside, so lots of rain. And then lastly, I have my monstera deliciosa that I started from a seed, and it has not been doing a ton lately, and I have a feeling it's because it has long outgrown this pot. So we're going to repot it and see what happens. I'm going to do a little bit of a pot roulette, as I like to do. I'm gonna put this into here and then put this into something else. I'm not quite sure, but that's the plan. Also, as I'm repotting these things, I don't exactly have like a conversation plan, but I figured it would be fun just to catch up and like tell you what I've been up to and just review and yeah, just talk about the plants as I'm repotting them. So first we're gonna do the monstera. And this is not potted in De La Tanks, or maybe it is, I don't know. Actually, I can't tell. I think it is De La Tanks because it has cocoa chips in it. And I didn't use cocoa chips prior to my partnership with them. Ooh, yeah, she needed it. This pot was like more roots than anything else. So I'm just gonna set that down while I figure out a pot for her. I think this would not be big enough. Yeah, we need a bigger pot than this. While I figure that whole thing out, let's put this gal in there. Okay, so I have had one of these variegated alocasias before, this elephant ear situation, and I brought it back from Florida. If any of you OGs remember that, it was like 30 bucks or something like that, and that was in 2019. I bought that for, yeah, like 20 bucks. It was crazy. Everybody was so shocked, and I got like a ton of messages asking where I went. And you know what? That was a Florida big box store. I think it was a Lowe's, which is insane. And I've heard like a lot of people like, that's not a thing anymore. Or maybe it is in Florida. I don't know. Florida is wild with their big box stores and their houseplants and everything else. But anyway, I found that plant when I was in Florida. I brought it back with me on the plane, and I was literally so excited to have this beautiful plant that I did not do any research about it. None. I did more research about getting it home than I did caring for it, really. And it did okay for a while, but it eventually got, I'm assuming, spider mites. I thought at the time that it was thrips, but I think it was actually spider mites, because now that I've had spider mites a number of times since then, I can reassess, and I feel like it was spider mites. Anyway, it's all potted up now. It's looking so cute. And you know what? I actually considered planting this outside because I feel like it would do so good like in the ground, and then maybe dig it up after the season's over. I guess I could still do that, but it didn't really have much of a root system, so I feel like, I don't know. And it's also kind of an expensive plant to just like plant in my landscape and be like, let's see what happens. So I don't know. I might have it live outside for the summer and see what happens there, but they just love humidity so much, and it's like so humid outside here, like all the time. So I feel like it would much prefer being outside with like a lot of light rather than in my sunroom, where it'll get a lot of light but not as much as it will outside. Because what I found with Allocasia is they need a lot more light than you think, like a lot more. So yeah. I'm learning. This video is sponsored by Ruggable, so let's have a little chat about them. I am seriously so excited about my new Ruggable rug for my plant room. It is the perfect option for high traffic areas because when it gets dirty, I can just throw it. Oh, I just dropped soil onto the rug. As I was saying. Ruggable rugs are a great option because if it gets dirty, I can just throw it in the washer and it's all fresh and clean. And I can't tell you how many times my dogs come in with muddy paws, or we come in with muddy boots, or I drop soil all over the ground. It just really makes me feel so much cleaner knowing that the rug can be fully washed. How it works is you have the washable rug cover, which has reinforced corners and a soft and stain resistant material. And then you have the rug pad, which is a non-slip rug pad with a cling effect texture so that the rug doesn't move. As far as the design went, I went with the one that looked the most natural looking, and I'm not even quite sure what the design is, but I just really like the colors and the texture. It feels very natural and in line with everything else in the sunroom. In my sunroom, it's basically all earth tones, and I really wanted to keep that theme. So I was really excited when I saw this design from Ruggable. If you like this design, I will have it linked down below. It's a really awesome neutral rug. So all of that said, if you are interested in getting a Ruggable rug, you can use the code DaylaPlants10 and use the link down below in the description box to try them out. Again, that is DaylaPlants10 for 10% off your order. Okay, I tracked down this pot. This pot was for my Rhaphidophora tetrasperma, but that plant died. I don't want to talk about it. I'm not ready yet. I'm pretty sad about it, to be honest, but it'll be a perfect size for this plant. Monstera deliciosa tend to, I don't know what the phrase is or if there even is a phrase for it, but like I feel like they tend to root out like pretty quickly. Like they grow a lot of roots. Like their root system's insane. So I am going to give it a little bit bigger of a pot than I would with a different plant, just because I know that it'll fill up the pot pretty quickly. And you know what? I think that it needs a support pole because it's wanting to flop over. So I think it's time to stake it up. It would be nice to put it on a plank of wood, actually. I'll have to see if I have one that would be good, like a good size for it. And maybe we can do that instead of like a plant stake. I'd prefer to do that because then it could be on a plank of wood pretty quickly. I've got this one. I think that would be pretty good for it. And then you know what? It can upgrade to living back here. I'm gonna do that. I just need to locate my staple gun because how I do it is I staple a stake to this so that the wood piece is not actually being buried into the soil and it's just sitting on top of the soil. And the reason that I do that is because I don't want this wood to rot too quickly. So this was actually a treated piece of wood, so I don't think it's gonna rot at all, but either way, if you don't let the wood get too wet for too long, it's not going to rot at all. Okay, staple gun and the stakes. So let's just do a quick little plants on planks installation tutorial. I have done a more thorough video showing this process. I will link it in the cards right now so that you can save that for later if you're interested. But it's a very simple process. So have the plank of wood here, and where the stake goes, like as far as like distance on the plank, it just depends on how deep your pot is. So for this one, we're gonna start with about right here. That's maybe like maybe like 4 inches or so. So what I do is I put 2 on the back and 1 on the front. Mostly so that you're not seeing so much of this green stake. Preferably I would put like 2 on the front, 2 on the back, but these are so like bright green and you can see them like so well. I mean, once the plant grows in, it's really not as big of a deal, but you know, personally. All installed. And now we take this and just insert it. Installed, and it's actually pretty sturdy. I mean, a lot of people ask like, will it fall over? It definitely could, and you have to be careful when you're lifting them because it is heavy in a different way, like it's top heavy. So you just have to make sure that when you're lifting it, you are lifting with care. And as far as getting it to attach to the pole, I haven't had any of my plants actually fuse to the wood plank yet, but they have started to realize that they're there. I think the higher humidity in my sunroom has helped them to grow longer aerial roots, and then the roots touch the wood. And so they're like, oh, here's something to support me. And then they've started to put out bigger leaves just with, you know, leaning against the wood, not even attaching to it yet. So that's pretty cool. I'm gonna go get my plant Velcro and just do a nice piece right here. And then eventually the leaves will turn and all face one direction and look really beautiful. Here's a confession. This has been sitting outside for a very long time, so it's like all dirty, but it should still be all right. And the reason that I like plant Velcro is because it has a very gentle hold. A lot of plant, you know, like support stuff, it's like a single or like a thin piece of string or something like that. And if you're putting too much pressure on the plant, it can cause like a line, like the plant can start to die off because it's getting cut off. But I find with plant Velcro, because it's flat and a bit wider, it doesn't do that at all. Like I don't have any markings in my plants anytime I use it. So this will be perfect. You just hold it in place and press it up against the wood so that it knows it's there. And then I'm excited to see how this grows as time goes on. All right, let's talk about this plant that has passed on. So this was my Ficus altissima. You know, the one that I always said that I hated. And now it's officially gone. Can't say of completely natural causes, maybe a little bit of abandonment as well, but we all know that it was like barely hanging on for most of the time I had it, so it's definitely not a sad loss by any means. So we're gonna use its pot for a much more exciting plant, which is my Choco Red. And I love this plant. I feel like it's a bit big for the plant, but the De La Tank soil is so airy that it'll be totally fine. Something that's really cool, I ordered this from, I don't remember who. I forgot what they were called. I'll put it on the screen. Anyway, what was really cool is this plant came entirely in cocoa chips. And I've never seen somebody send a plant in cocoa chips, and it was the cleanest like unpotting of a plant I have ever done in my life. Like literally no mess, not a drop of anything outside of the pot. It was actually remarkable. So maybe that is like the way to go for a clean like shipping. I have no idea. It was pretty cool. Ooh, it has cute little roots. Also because it's already in like a cocoa based situation, I don't really feel the need to like remove a lot of this. So I think that this is like the root ball, that's what it is. Now that I think about it, this pot is probably too big, but we're gonna try it and see how it goes. All done. It looks really good. That will be good. I'm not gonna fill up like too high on the top of it, but that's pretty good. I'm super happy with this plant. I'm excited to see how this El Choco goes like long term, because I've wanted one of these for so long. It was a wish list plant. What is it called? Oh, a wish list plant splurge. I don't think it was even much of a, actually no, it probably was a splurge. I don't remember at this point, which is probably a good thing. Now I am running low on pots. Like I need to go pot shopping because I've got this one left and I don't know if I have a pot that will be suitable for it, because I'd like to put this ideally in a glazed pot. So, okay, hear me out here. I've got another dead plant. It's a theme today. And this was a maidenhair fern, so you can see why it died. I think everybody understands. So it was in this self-watering pot, which I just don't know about the whole self-watering pot thing. It was not successful for me personally. It did not change how often I had to water this. Like, if anything, I had to water it more. It was annoying. So we're done with that. And we're just gonna empty this out and see what the situation looks like. And I think I might be able to use this pot for this plant, depending on what the root system looks like, of course. No, that's not gonna work out. That is really not gonna work out. Okay. Different dead pot plant. Let's see. Well, what do we think about using this cylinder pot? I feel like this cylinder pot would be great for it. Only problem is it currently has an inhabitant, but I think that we can kick it out and see what happens. I think we can do that. Okay. Can we all agree that this one looks better in this pot than the other one, than the Sansevieria? Can we just do that for me? I need to hear that validation because I'm feeling a little guilty that I just did that, but I think that this plant fits this pot better. So we're just gonna go with that. That's what I'm gonna tell myself. I made the right decision. Okay, I'm officially not the big bad wolf because I found a different home for it. And we're just gonna put it in this beautiful cylinder terracotta pot. I think that it needed a bigger pot anyway, because look, there's like roots growing along the sides. I think it needed it. Okay, the last thing on my agenda is to switch out the soil for this ZZ. And I think it really needs it, and it'll be much happier with new soil. So it was actually sitting up in my dark bedroom, and I thought, hey, let's try to put this low light plant in my extremely low light bedroom. It didn't like that. We lost a lot of plant. You know, my ZZs have never done that to me before, so that's how I know that it was not a great situation for it. So we will be moving it back down into the plant room, and now that I moved some plants outside, I have more space for plants like this. It's also extremely dry. So, oh gosh, I am getting soil everywhere. Okay, so I'm basically just gonna remove as much of this old soil as I can because, you know, as nice as this soil was for the plant for the time it was living in it, it needs a little bit more airy, breathable soil. Just gonna massage it out. I'm going to really try to ignore the dry soil smell currently in the air. I mean, I can hardly smell it anyway because my nose is clogged, if you couldn't tell, but it is there. It is poignant. Ooh, okay. I need like a fan to like rotate the air. Okay, friends, it is done. And I'm really happy that I did this. Despite not feeling 100%, it was nice to get my hands in some dirt, to move some things around, to get some stuff checked off my list. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you enjoyed seeing us set up this new Ruggable rug. As I'm looking around, I'm just thinking that it looks so good. I love the way that it complements the room, and it's like a nice contrast piece. It's just so beautiful. Yeah, I'm so excited about it. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to check Ruggable out, I'll have it linked down below. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.